guys, welcome to 𝑑𝑻𝑪𝑮𝑳 took a Tumbling Hands featuring our Iron Threads EX from the very first set with a Cybernetics Wheels attack doing 160 damage while switching this Pokemon with one of your bench for 3 metal and 1 colorless. With our Diancie with the Princess's Current ability to block our opponent from playing a boss on any one of our basic Pokemons on the bench. 2 Magnezone for the energy acceleration with the Giga Magnet with 1 Miraidon for the cheat summon, helping us bench our Magnemites early, while also getting our Iron Hands into play at the right time for us to play MU very much for the extra prize. We're also playing 1 Dialga VSTAR to do Star Chronos for the extra turn, or Melburst for big damage, 1 EX for the draw support, or to copy any one of our opponent's active Pokemon's attacks with genome hacking. Next, we've got 4 Adaman and 1 Arven for the Rare Candy Search, 2 Basic Lightning with 1 Energy Search for Iron Hands, 1 Rod to shut back our Pokemon energies, 1 Counter Catcher, and 1 Pokégear. So that's all for the deck list. Now let's go for some gameplay and see how well this deck works. Okay, let's head out for the first one with Tumbling Hands. We got Iron Hands with Dialga VSTAR and also our Iron Threads. So Iron Threads is not actually a future Pokemon. There's going to be a new Iron Threads for Paladin Fates though, which we could add into this list once we get released. But for now, we're not playing Booster just because it doesn't work on anything but the Iron Hands. So there's no point playing the Booster apparently. For this game though, it would actually benefit us just because they have 130 HP for Stonjourner. So the Stonjourner from Silver Tempest actually has 10 more HP if we hit only 120 with our MU very much using Iron Hands. After attaching enough energies with the Energy Search and Lightning, we actually don't have enough damage to take it out for the extra prize. So we would need either the boss or Counter Catcher to target the right Pokemon with our Iron Hands just for the extra prize. If you hit with your Iron Threads though on the last turn against like a Qianpao, or Qianpao is actually weak to its metal. If you hit against like a Gholdengo for example, you can actually, or a V-Star, you can finish off the V-Star or Stage 1 EX with your Iron Hands by doing only 120 damage to top off for the knockout, taking the extra prize on the next turn. And then you can play a Dialga V-Star to do Star Chronos for the extra turn, getting the last 3 prize with your V-Star power. So that's the main strategy for this list. We don't actually have Peonia though, and only 1 copy of Dialga V-Star is pretty risky. If we get the V-Star prize, we may not be able to use the Star Chronos, but we still have our Heavy Ball to get our Iron Threads and the 1 Rod to cycle back our Iron Hands or Threads. We can also attack with Mew by the way. Mew doing Genome Hacking for 3 colorless, using Magnezone for the energy. Genome Hacking is actually pretty powerful against decks like Charizard EX, Lost Box with Giratina V-Star. We can copy either Lost Impact or Charizard's Burning Darkness. Copying Burning Darkness for the last minute knockout is actually going to earn you the last 2 prize with just the Mew EX easily. So it's not just a draw support, it's also a attacker. Quite a legitimate attacker at that. So now we're up against a Claydol box. I think this is LDF's list. I don't think they have enough energies or enough ways to get the Claydol out, because they're not allowed to play any supporter cards. I think they have 1 supporter in the deck, like a Grant or something that they can put back into their hand. They may have Palpa as well, just in case, you know, they don't have cards in their hand to discard. They have Mew EX though, but the ability gets locked if your opponent has Path to the Peak, obviously. So Mew EX isn't perfect. We don't have Greninja anymore for this list. We used to have Greninja. Now we're playing nothing but Mew and Miraidon just to get our either the Iron Hands. We can play the ability every single turn, so you don't really need to bench your Iron Hands that early. You should only be benching it when you need to. But you do have to be careful though. They may just do a boss on your Miraidon and take it out. We do have Diancie, so I don't think we should be worried about that. If you bench your Iron Hands too early, they may just play a Counter Catcher on their next turn when they have the prize counter or a Cross Switcher to take it out before you even get to play MU very much. If you don't attack with your Iron Hands and if you have it knocked out, it would be a total waste because we do have that 1 Rod, but we're only playing 1 copy of the Iron Hands, and we have to be extra careful when to play it, when to actually have it in play and, you know, attack with it. It's actually more difficult than it seems. To play the attack at the right time, because normally, even against a Lost Box, normally they have once you get enough energies in play, they would have like a V-Star in the active or a high HP Pokemon in the active that you can't actually take out for the extra prize. you would need your Iron Threads to lower their HP, or you would need to wait for the price counter to play your counter catcher. We don't have the new catcher, what's it called again? Prime catcher, that actually allows you to do Guzma effect, the A-spec card. If that gets released, once that card is released, we're gonna swap it into this deck list, because that's gonna make this deck a lot more stronger. So counter catcher, not an easy card to play if you're not doing control. You gotta be extra careful how to manage your prizes, how to, how to give yourself the right time, the right moment to play it, and what to do after that. You need to plan ahead of time when you're gonna do which knockout, and how to actually get all 6 prizes at the right moment. So it's a lot more complicated than it seems. I did think about swapping it for a Pokemon catcher, but I don't like flipping the coin, so I guess we don't have a choice. Swapping it for a boss would be really bad for this list, just because we have only 5 supporter cards in addition to the boss. Excluding the boss, we have only 4 Adamans and 1 Arven to get our Rare Candy evolution on our second turn. If we don't get those supporters, if we get the boss on our first turn as our first supporter, can you imagine how bad that is? So I don't think we're allowed to play boss for this list. Unfortunately, we do have the Pokégear, but still, we're just gonna end up getting the boss on the first turn. It's not ideal to be playing boss if you have that many energies. Not enough supporter cards, but the reason we're playing that many energies is because I don't want to play Recycler. Like, I've tried Recycler for a Magnezone deck, it doesn't really work. So eventually I just ended up adding so much energies that they really have no excuse but to give us at least 2 or 3 energies at the top 6 cards of our deck the first time we play Magnezone's ability. And once we get 2 energies, we can attack with either Iron Threads or Iron Hands already. We can't do Dialga just yet, but if we attack with Iron Hands or Iron Threads, they would probably either take out the Iron Hands on their next turn or take out the Diancie, which allows us enough time for us to evolve our Dialga on the bench and also get enough energies on the next turn. So we don't really need to worry too much. We just need to play out the right cards and then evolve the Dialga slowly. If we get Dialga as our first active, as you saw right now, it's obviously a little bit more difficult to play, but if you can just evolve it at the right time, I feel like you should be fine. Because evolving it adds the HP, and hopefully they won't be knocking you out until you play your V-Star power. Just because it's actually quite difficult to get 3 energies at the top 6 cards of the deck right after your first Rare Candy evolution, just because we are playing 2 different types of energy. We have the Energy Search as well, just for Iron Hands to play its attack a lot easier. We could actually do an early MU very much as well. If we get enough energies, if we have the Miraidon, we can actually play Iron Hands as our first attacker against a Lost Box, against any other, like a Charizard EX. If we go first with our Magnezone, we can already on our second turn Rare Candy evolve and get enough energies for our Iron Hands to do the first knockout, getting 2 prize for our first hit. So that's the power of the new future Pokemon, and it's gonna get buffed for the coming set as well. There's gonna be a new Iron Pokemon. I forgot what paradox it is. I think it's Iron Crown, that actually adds 20 more damage to each of your future Pokemon's attacks. So that's going to be broken for Iron Hands just because it's a basic. All you need to do is bench a lot of Iron Crowns. You can stack the ability, helping you do extra damage for your MU very much. Doing up to 200 damage with the booster capsule. Can do a maximum of 220 with MU very much. Doing a Chien-Pao knockout for 3 prize in 1 hit. How crazy is that? 1 hit knockout against Chien-Pao. If they don't have the tool card, obviously. If they have the tool card, we can still play Lost Vacuum, but you will need to waste 4 bench spots for Iron Crown though, just to stack his ability, and that means you may not have the space for your draw support abilities anymore. You could actually bench your Mew EX, but still, it's not really a proper draw engine, is it? If you play proper supporter cards, still, how do you charge it up for the 4 colorless, right? 3 colorless and 1 lightning. How do you satisfy the attack cost for you to play MU very much? And how do you get the tool card as well attached? There are a lot of things you need to work out for the list, obviously, for anything, but still, adding 20 damage for any of your future Pokemon seems pretty broken. Anyways, let's get back into this game right here. Apparently, they're not getting their energies because we're playing 25 basic energies in this list. Believe it or not, we have 25 energies for this deck just because we got no recycler. We got the one rod, but that's basically for emergency situations when your Magnezone gets bossed. Obviously, Diancie doesn't block Magnezone from getting bossed. If they knock out your Magnezone, how are you going to charge up your next Pokemon, right? You got your Iron Threads with enough energies to attack, but what about your Iron Hands or Dialga after that? Because we only have 2 Diancies. Once we run out of the Diancie, after they knock it out, if they get a counter gadget as well, we got no guarantee to save our Iron Threads from being KO'd. How do we, how do we re-evolve another Magnezone after that? Obviously, we need the Rod, right? So don't play the Rod until your Magnezone gets KO'd. Do not just play the Rod out of nowhere just to shuffle back the energies, just to get more energies from the top 6 cards of the deck. It's not safe to do it until they KO your Magnezone. It's just better that way. Unless, of course, you have your Dialga VSTAR in play already with enough energies attached. If they have wasted enough turns for you to play your ability enough times, then you can play a Rod just to shuffle back, your energies. Because you don't really need the Magnezone anymore, do you? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, though, because would you need to shuffle back energies if you have enough energies in play already? I don't think you would need to play the Rod anyways. Funny thing, isn't it? Anyways, for this game, we're not playing Heavy Ball, we're not playing Dialga VSTAR. We only have the Iron Threads and Iron Hands, would you believe it? 2 copies of each, no Heavy Ball. So if we get the Iron Hands early, we can actually play it already. We don't have Miraidon, we have the Metal type Magnemite, as you can see, instead of the current 2 copies of Lightning type Magnemite. We're actually playing the Metal type for this game. So this is a little bit of a different list. Instead of the V-Star, we are playing 1 copy of Vengeful Punch with a Defiance Band, just to help us top off for the knockout against, Charizard EX, any high HP Pokemons. After doing Iron Threads, they obviously may have 160 or more HP remaining, and that's why we need our tool cards to basically add a little bit more damage for Iron Hands to do the knockout, getting the extra prize against an EX or even a VMAX. There's not many VMAXs in play right now, though, is there? But the point is, if they have 330 HP, though, 160 plus 120 is not quite enough. Even with the Vengeful Punch on the Diancie or on the Magnezone, you should really be attaching it on the Magnezone, though, because they can do a boss on it, which they probably would. If they take out your Magnezone, they got 20 damage counters on their active, 120 with your Iron Hands is actually not enough. So you may need the extra booster. If you don't get the Defiance Band as well, we only are playing 2 tool cards for this list. If you don't play your Vengeful Punch and the Defiance Band twice in a row, you can't actually KO the VMAX or the Charizard EX with your Iron Hands, and that means no extra prize. So we would have to attack with another Iron Threads with the Defiance Band or the supplement from Vengeful Punch to KO the EX, and then think about playing your Iron Hands with a counter catcher on like a Bibarel or Lumineon on the bench for the extra prize, or 𝑧�𝒂𝒄𝒄 even. So Iron Hands is actually really good right now just because Lumineon and 𝑧�𝒂𝒄𝒄 are actually weak towards lightning. So you get 3 prize in 1 hit if they have those supports on their bench and if you play your counter catcher at the right time, which is absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? We don't have Mew EX for this list as well, so no genome hacking against the Terra Mewtwo, which actually doesn't do much because we're not playing Psychic Energies. Copying the attack is not going to help us, but we do have Radiant Greninja for the draw support. I'm not actually sure if we do have the Mew for this game though. It may be prize because we got no Heavy Ball. It's inconclusive, I guess. I guess you have to find out later. So this is the very first game that I started out with the combo. I thought about Iron Threads with Iron Hands. Wanted to do a different list, but ended up with Magnezone because, I don't know, Magnezone is the best way to go, I guess, if you need so many metal energies. Adaman is super fun to play as well, so the thing about this supporter card is that if you have excess energy in your hand, you actually sometimes need to save it for your second Adaman. If you get Adaman from the top card of your deck, saving the energy is actually going to help you play that supporter late game to search for your lightning energy, to search for anything else you need, like an Ultra Ball for the V-Star. You could actually Rare Candy evolve the second one, the second Magnezone, if you have your second copy inside the deck, or search for the Rod if they do a boss to knock out your first Magnezone. So there are a lot of things that you can do with your second Adaman. Do not waste the energies in your hand. But early game though, you would probably get a lot of energies to start with. So for the first few turns, obviously you have no choice but to attach it as you go, just because you may not get enough energies from your first Giga Magnet. So make sure to conserve after your second turn. After attaching your second energy, make sure to save those for your next Adaman. Obviously, if you have too many energies in your hand, you can't play Mew EX's ability. But what I'm trying to say is save one energy, right? You don't really need to play your second Adaman that early, by the way, just because we're not in need of the search once we have gotten our first Magnezone out. We may need the V-Star though if we have our Dialga in play or our Lightning Energy with Iron Hands, but we do have Arven as well to search for the Energy Search to get our basic Lightning for us to do MU very much from the very start. Iron Threads is basically our main primary attacker for this list, but we are only playing one copy though, so I'm not sure. We do have the Heavy Ball, but if we don't get Iron Threads as our first attacker, we may need to dig for our Dialga V-Star or the Lightning Energy, and that means we may need Radiant Greninja back in the list. I don't know, what do you guys think? If you guys do decide to add Radiant Greninja into this list, make sure to only play its ability after using Magnezone's ability, just because most times, if you draw with your concealed cards, most times you would get extra energies into your hand, because the game just loves to fuck you over. Make sure to play Giga Magnet before drawing cards, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to give you energies, right? If you just draw first, before attaching energies with your ability, they're going to force you to get your energies, and then on the next top 6 cards of your deck, you're going to get nothing to attach with Magnezone, which makes you regret your decision. That's what they want, to make you regret your decision all the fucking time. I've played this game so long, I know how the system works. Do not draw cards before playing Magnezone's ability. Just don't. Don't even take the chance. Trust me, just don't even take the chance. Anyways, I think I'm just gonna end the voice right here. Leave you guys focus on the game. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Today we're featuring our Iron Threads EX back from Scarlet Valley 1 with our Magnezone for the acceleration and the new Iron Hands for the extra prize, using MU very much, doing 120 damage for 3 colorless and 1 lightning, getting the extra prize if you do a knockout with that attack. We also have our Dialga V-Star for the extra turn, doing Star Chronos for 5 energies if we get enough with our Magnezone. If we don't, we have our Diancie to wall inactive, blocking against our opponent's boss on our Dialga before evolving on the next turn to do our V-Star power, getting the extra turn, doing big damage with Metal Burst after. So that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Have a great day, and bye from the people. Enjoy life!